Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. I have been meaning to talk to y'all about this, but I don't know what it is. But I'm here now, right? Tisha is a very pretty girl. She's a very beautiful woman. She does act less than smart sometimes. And even with this past ESPO and whatever high she was on from that, it's always something Marsau would do to bring her down. And I'm talking about lawsuits. Let's get into it. Before I get started, you can listen to this in its entirety over on Empress Radio. She was talking about it. Let's just get into it.
Allegedly, Marceau defrauded them by misrepresenting himself. He said that he had done all these projects. You guys remember on the show, we were like, you said you did all this, like $1 million contracts and stuff like that. Turns out this was probably like one of their first projects, allegedly. And Marceau was like allegedly late to work, didn't finish stuff. So they never paid them, So because they're like, why would we pay you for this work? So Zen Gardens had sued Marceau for like, what, $4 or $5 million. And then Marceau went and countersued for $804,000, which is what he was supposed to make in this deal or whatever, but they were like, no, you never did anything that you're supposed to do, So then that was the Zen Gardens case. That's still ongoing.
Now, that was just to refresh you on what's really going on, because, it's been about 2 years, I think, since we've heard about Zen Gardens and Marsau and Tisha in the situation. And also, you may hear her say that Tisha's not mentioned in any of this, where he always says Tisha is owner of everything, right? The scam of it all, allegedly. Now let's get into another lawsuit, because in order to do all of this stuff, you got to have materials to do it. And he don't have the materials, or he don't have the money for it, allegedly. Let's get into it.
So in order for Marceau to do this project, he needed some equipment. Obviously, if you're going to do a construction project, you need equipment, right? So he rented some equipment from equipmentshare.com. So equipmentshare.com is now suing Marceau, and I'm going to show you. So shout out to T from TV. So as you guys can see here, equipmentshare.com Inc. versus Plaintiffs Go Industries and Marsau Scott. You don't see Letitia's name. I'm just letting you guys know. You don't see Letitia's name in these documents. So let's see if we could skip to some interesting stuff.
Now, I'm going to let her finish. But Marsau has gone online to rent equipment, right? I don't know how you do that, because usually if I buy something offline, before I get off, unless it's a firm and afterpay, it's paid for. Let me let her keep going. Let's go.
On or about July 30th, 2020, defendant Skull executed a credit application with the plaintiff seeking to rent equipment from the plaintiff. Like I said, this was the equipment he was going to use on the Zen Gardens. A true correct copy of the credit. Okay, so it's yes, we have the application, they have the attached stuff. As part of the credit application, defendant Scott also entered into an individual personal guarantee, pursuant to which defendant Scott is personally liable for any obligation of the, he was liable for the equipment if he fails to pay in accordance with the terms of the agreement of this party. Subsequent after he executed the rental agreement for the plaintiff to provide the rental equipment, true copies, they have the copies. So, okay. Subsequently thereafter, the Skull defaulted under terms of a rental agreement by failing to pay the plaintiff's invoices for the use of the equipment by their due date. Defendant Scott defaulted under the terms of the guarantee by failing to pay the invoices by the due date. Okay, so it repeats it. But defendant owes plaintiff for the use of rental equipment in the amount of $125,878.55 as evidenced by the invoices, and they have all the invoices attached. Defendant has failed to pay the amounts due under the invoices, as a result, are indebted to plaintiff in the amount of, we said, $125,878.55 for the entire amount of debt now past due. In addition, plaintiff is entitled to pre-judgment interest at the contractual rate of 18% starting from 2021. So
how in the hell did y'all pull off an ESPO? Like, I know they talked about Stormy, talked about she did the part in the pasture and charging people $60 so she could pay off her debt. Is that this situation too? You bought $100,000+ online, and didn't pay it back and refused. Y'all, she went on to say, and I say allegedly because I don't have the documents and I was not there, but Empress Radio went on to say he refused to pay the money back. Child, let's keep going.
They even damaged one of the equipments. So just letting you guys know that. So this was when the invoice is $22,000. So there was a default judgment on July 26, 2022. Marsau never showed up to court. They said that it was a failure to appear. Also, they tried to send some documents to Marsau and Letitia. They said they're running because it got returned to the sender.
So y'all can charge 18% interest, right? Damaging the material that you're not paying for, along with the 18% interest, and running from the constable to serve you so you could pay the people where you bought the materials with 18% interest that you have damaged? How did y'all put on an ESPO? Let's keep going, because I think it's one more thing. Let's get into it.
I guess that's how you pronounce it. McMahon Drilling and Blasting versus Marsau Scott. Like I said, you don't see Letitia's name in any of this. However, they have said on the show plenty of times, oh, shout out to Attorney at some point. Just letting you know, because that she's the one who got this case. The facts of the case. So in August of 2022, defendant contacted plaintiff to perform demolition or blasting work at his residence. I'm glad that they didn't put any addresses so I could read it. In Madison County, Alabama. Specifically, defendant asked plaintiff to perform blasting work for the foundation of the defendant's home. So is this home the home with the rocks on the hills, like over there on the hills have eyes that everybody be talking about? Because that place is still not done. But yeah, so this is all allegedly. Plaintiff agreed to perform the blasting work defendant requested. Plaintiff provided that it would give the defendant an invoice for the work it performed once the completed work was done. At the time, defendant induced plaintiff to enter into this agreement. However, the defendant knew he would not pay plaintiff for the blasting work it would perform at the defendant's residence. In other words, defendant knew from the parties' first conversation that he would convince plaintiff to perform work on his residence by agreeing to pay for the blasting work, that he would receive the benefit of the plaintiff's blasting work, and therefore he would not pay the plaintiff for its work. This is in black and white in court documents saying that he knew that he had no intentions on paying.
So am I hearing this right? So Marsau wanted the people to come and do some blasting, and he knew he wasn't going to pay them. Y'all, it's like $60,000 plus dollars. It's in the court documents, allegedly, because I don't have them. Hold on.
Plaintiff sought and received a permit from Madison County to perform blasting work, and we don't want to keep repeating. Okay, after completing the requested work, plaintiff presented defendant an invoice detailing the itemized work, performing, and materials used on the job. In total, requested $61,874 for the work performed. Defendant refused to pay the plaintiff for this work performed on his residence. That's so disrespectful. Plaintiff has attempted to recover the amounts defendant owes in several occasions to no avail. This is like a standard occurrence with them now.
So he had these people to do the work and knew he wasn't gonna pay him $60,000+. Why didn't these people go to the ESPO? I would have had the police at the ESPO. Do you understand what I'm saying? Especially this drilling situation, because this is the third and newest thing that we know of, allegedly. But we all knew where they were about 2 weeks ago. Y'all, this is crazy. Let's talk about it. It's your girl, Millie Chun, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.